Hey, welcome to Animeishness. I am Yaku Masuki Midamazlu.
Yako. I'm Aeris-Blue.
And I'm Div.
And today we are reviewing Magi and the Labyrinth of Magic.
I'm pretty sure in the dub they call it Magi.
I've also heard it called Magi.
Today we are reviewing
The Labyrinth of Magic.
And not the one with David Bowie. Alright, we here at Team Animeishness hate doing summaries, so we always draw cards and low card has to give one. And high card gets to give first opinion.
I got a 10.
I got an 8.
I got a 7. So, The Labyrinth of Magic is the story of a world that is thrown into different political houses, and everyone seeks, a lot of people seek power. And to do this, they have to seize a dungeon and become a king. This is the setting where our main characters, Alibaba and Aladdin, are introduced in their journey to become kings. You get first opinion.
Oh, so I do. I did enjoy this series. I think I said that must be my catchphrase. I did enjoy this. I enjoy all the things. But I enjoyed this series quite a bit. I like all of the, we've had said this before as well, lots of color. It's got a very lighthearted, colorful visibility to it when you're watching it. Plotline's pretty good because it focuses on a lot of the political natures of things, and it takes
without being boring.
Yeah, without being boring for one thing, and also because it's so broad spectrum, but it still works in a way that you can understand. Which is something I really admire in the series, because a lot of times it's a lot of interpersonal relationships in anime and a singular person's struggle as opposed to a power struggle over various territories or between countries.
And the ones that do are very, very military based.
Yeah, and this one is a lot more with the effects of the people and who is more the bad guy
and just because the good guy's the good guy, does that make him right?
Yeah.
Your turn, Div.
I do like this show. The only problem I had with it was the dubbed voices. That's pretty much the only thing I did not like about it, because in my mind, their English voices sounded completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I heard it in English, I was like, huh? I was just like...
I can agree with that. I didn't think so at first, but we rewatched it, or a couple episodes of it recently to help refresh us, and yeah, we all had our voices that we kind of didn't really like. You could warm up to them after a time, but they weren't ones that I think inherently matched the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do think this is one of those few episodes where we've all agreed we've had this before, where we swear we watched it in English.
Yeah. It's like, I thought I watched this in English. No, that just came out. Oh.
Or it just hasn't come out yet, and you're just like, huh?
Personally, for me, the animation's a little lackluster, but then they'll have those moments. There's one in the first episode where Aladdin removes his turban and it turns into his magic flying carpet.
And that's the budget.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's all.
And the final fight scene there is also really well done, but up to that point, they're in the first episode and they're already looping animation. Aladdin's reveal is done twice in the same episode. And I'd say for comedic that he does the same thing, but it's literally the same animation.
Mm-hmm.
Something a little different would have been nice. Why'd he turn back around?
Yeah.
So the animation's what bugs me on this one. The characters on the other hand...
You were also upset about the eye spacing. You were talking about how people's eyes would like slide too far apart every once in a while.
Yeah.
Or we're just positioned too far. Favorite characters? Anyone?
My favorite character is Shah Khan. He's beautiful.
He's a cutie.
Let's face it, he's just great.
And who is he?
He is one of the generals of Sinbad's army, pretty much. And he's the swords master. And I mean, come on. If you can fillet a fish like that, you got my heart.
Man for me.
You're the man after my own heart.
Despite my reaction, I'd say that Sinbad and Judar are tied for my favorite. I'm going to go ahead and go with Judar this time to be a little different. Normally it's Div who goes after the villains, but Judar is definitely one of my favorite villains because of his immature and playful nature. He just wants to watch the world burn, and it's so delightful to watch. I enjoy, I was going to say his dialogue, but we actually had a problem with the English dialogue that if you watch the Japanese sub, the subs are a lot more impactful in a way. Normally it's the opposite because you can understand in English, and assuming that's your language, and that it resonates with you better. But for me, the sub was a lot more beneficial in that the dialogue was a lot more deep and meaningful, and then when it got translated to English, it lost a lot of that.
And I think that might largely be the voice acting. Again, Aladdin in particular has this nice line in the anime. It's the end of the first episode, and he extends his hand to Alibaba and says, "Let's be friends." Very simple line. It doesn't work at all in the dub.
I think it's like the voice actors just couldn't quite get there with it. Like, it might be different throughout the rest of it. They could have gotten the hang of it and actually worked on it, but it seemed like almost every character was not quite there. Like, it just a few steps. That's all it takes.
What was your guy's name?
Sharkon?
Sharkon. Sharkon has a very good voice, and so does Judar.
Judar does, that's Todd Habercorn, I think.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good job switching it up with Judar. You can still hear hints of him, of course, but you can't completely disguise your natural voice.
Yeah.
There's one scene in particular, I won't spoil it, but Judar does have a really nice set of dialogue that he runs through.
Where it seems like he's made a turnaround, and it makes sense that he has at this point.
And then surprises you by, just kidding, I'm still evil as fuck. And that one, I could cope with it. I liked it pretty well. I do wish there was a little more turn of emotion towards the end, but still very good. Sorry, I got a little off track there with voice acting. Your favorite character?
My favorite character is Alibaba.
Look at us all switching up today.
I never like the main character, but he is so likable. He makes mistakes. He is not the strongest character, and he reflects when he makes the mistakes and complains that maybe he needs to be stronger, but knowing that maybe he's not capable of it.
And there's a great part, even in just the first episode, when something terrible is happening and he's just sitting there and in his mind he's like, someone else do something. Somebody help them, someone do something. And it's such a realistic reaction to, you want to help, but you're too afraid to. And I like that he shows those fears, and he's so human in that regard. I guess Sinbad.
Matthew.
I freaking love Matthew, but I didn't really care for his acting on Sinbad, at least the episodes that we reviewed for a refresher.
Yeah, it was just like 2 episodes.
Yeah, and it's kind of felt a lot like it was oftentimes just his speaking voice, which is fine, except again, the lack of full emotion in that one. And like she said, we only reviewed a couple episodes to refresh
But
ourselves.
they were at the end. They developed these characters. They were at the point with them.
Yeah, but Sinbad didn't have any really emotional dialogue in the scenes we watched.
Yeah.
So you can argue with me on that one.
See,
I'll allow it.
I was actually very pleased with the way Shah Khan's voice came across, because that was the first time you heard him, and the first time he ever spoke, and it was just like, it fits.
I did. He had a playful line where he was talking to Alibaba. He's like, "Yo, what was your name, Ali?" Something, and it just the delivery of that one was really nice, and I think he did a pretty good job.
And Vic Mignogna, he has a very, very small role in this series, and
Which we're actually kind of happy about.
It's nice to hear him in like minor roles because you're so used to hearing him all the time. Love him.
It's nice hearing him just sneak in there as a pretty much one episode shot character, and the entire episode's based around him, so you still get your Vic fix.
Which episode was that? Which character? Do you remember the name?
I don't remember the name. I'll have a little image pop up with him.
Just
Beep.
this guy.
Alright, so numbers.
I would give it a 9, just because, yes, the dub wasn't that great, but I'm not going off the dub, because...
Nope.
You
We're
are
doing
going
the
off the
dub.
dub.
Still a 9.
Still a 9?
Still a 9, because it is a beautiful show, and I do like the plot, and it's just great.
It does have a pretty good story. I do like the story of it a lot. And admittedly, it's one of those ones up in my head that I'm like, freaking loved it while I watched it. And then once I fell out of my fandom for it, I didn't have a whole lot of emotion towards it. So I'm giving it an 8, I think. Yeah, an 8.
I'm giving this an 8.5. I'm going to go a little bit higher with it, and it's just because I've never seen a political show that actually made me care. This world is so big and so vast, and you see all of these different powers fighting for territories that why do you even care? But they do, because this is their power. And this is just a wonderful show describing what power is and what it does. So that
was a very
gives
nice
us-
conclusion.
Thank you. That gives us an 8.5 total
leaves.
for...
8.5 fig leaves.
Yeah, that's fun. 8.5 fig leaves for...
Magi, Maggie, Maggie,
The Labyrinth of Magic.
Magi.
We're Team Animeishness, and we'll see you in the next video.
Come on, Aladdin. You and I can talk this over. I can't figure out the name.